Well, hello, folks. Tonight we have a special guest. We have Mr. Elliot Severn, and he's the assistant director at the Henry B. Dupont III Planetarium at the Discovery Museum in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And he also happens to be a fellow Booth Park Memorial Astronomical Society member. So, Elliot, how you doing? And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Good. I'm an amateur astronomer and an astrophotographer, and I work at the museum, and I take pictures of rocket launches as well.
Very good, very good. And how long have you been at the museum? This is a new thing for you, isn't it? Or
yeah, it's sort of a recent development. So I went there as a kid, and I used to help out there for like events and Space Day and things like that. And I got asked if I could help teach there in 2016, and I've been there ever since.
Very good, yeah. And that planetarium, that's new, isn't it? I mean, you had a planetarium there before, but now you've got a new projector, is that correct?
Right. So we've had the planetarium since the beginning of the museum about 60 years ago. And until recently, we had a Spitz 512 optical mechanical star projector. And in September, we ripped everything out and got Evans and Sutherland Digitar 6 and 2 4K laser projectors. So a big upgrade from what we had, which was basically a sphere with holes in it for stars, and it just had a bright light inside of it, and it would just shine through those holes in the sphere. And now we have like millions of pixels and great color and great contrast. So
yeah, and I took that one tour through it, and you gave a great presentation, and I really enjoyed how you actually were doing the presentation rather than just a cookie cutter video that you had up there. Right. And I also liked how you were able to, I guess you were saying you can project anybody's pictures that they take of like galaxies or something like that. You can actually add it to the
yeah, it's great. I can throw anything onto it. I can grab images and videos, and any 360 stuff can go right on the dome and fill the entire dome.
That is incredible. Yeah, now let's switch gears a little bit. And so your own photography, now you take more than just, you know, I know you do astrophotography as well, but you've got quite a site. I think I have your website. I'm going to try to go to screen share, and I'll show people your website. All right, can you see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, yeah, so this is your website, and this is a beautiful picture of New York City, but it looks like you start off with real estate.
Yep, and that's sort of my side gig right now.
Oh, okay, so okay, very good. And what about architecture? Well, let's take a look at the real estate. I'll just flash that, see what type of a picture you got in here. So, yeah, beautiful
houses.
Pictures.
Very exciting houses.
Very exciting house. Well, it's still, the pictures are awesome. And then architecture.
Yeah, so architecture is more commercial things. So offices and hospitals and warehouses and things like that.
Is this also a side gig for you, doing this architecture stuff, or is it general interest? Or
so that's part of the real estate. It's just the commercial side.
I see. All right, and then we come to some of your space flight images here. These are incredible. These images.
Thank
How
you.
did you get so close to these things?
Now, so I have to be about 2-3 miles away.
Oh, okay.
But I get to set up just a couple 100 feet away. All of these are audio triggered. And so I go out a day or two ahead of time and get everything all set, and then I leave, and then a day or 2 or 3 or 4 days later, eventually it goes up, and as soon as it ignites, the camera just snaps away.
Oh, okay,
And
really?
after everything is cleared, I can go back out and gather everything back and see what I got.
And here's some aviation pictures. I kind of like these. This Blue Angels pictures is just incredible. You had to be right next to it somehow.
Yeah, that was with a 500 millimeter lens, so
Nice.
not
Okay.
super close, but
It looks close, yeah. And then this guy just taking one giant step for mankind here up. And then we come to some astronomy pictures too.
you know, everything that you see at the top of the page is all in the last couple of weeks now because I've been stuck at home. So
Yeah.
I've probably done more astrophotography in the last like 3 weeks than I have in the last 3 years. So
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I've seen these pictures before. They're very recently.
yeah, so
This moon
the
picture is
moon
just incredible.
is on the 6th,
Yeah.
and the crescent was like a week ago, I think.
I don't know if people can see it in this Zoom image, but I'll post a link in the comment section so you can go check Elliot's work out. Well, I've taken pictures of the moon too with my DSLR, and they're, you know, I always think, oh boy, this is a really good shot. And then I see a shot that you take and it's just like blows me away. And here's, yeah, I know these are recent pictures of you too, so that you've just taken. This one looks like the M101 maybe.
Yep.
Pinwheel Galaxy. Here's the Whirlpool. And the Cigar Galaxy and Bode's Nebula.
Yep, and up on top is another NGC galaxy that I thought was a comet. And so I got all excited and I processed everything, and then I found out it was actually a galaxy, not a comet.
Not too bad though, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are some of your astrophotography pictures. I always love this picture too, the eclipse.
Yeah.
And then you've taken pictures of the ISS, really nice pictures.
And I think I was with you for both of those, right?
Yes, you were. Yours came out much better than mine. Really incredible. And no, this is a beautiful picture of Jupiter and Saturn. Okay.
These are old pictures now.
Yeah.
Those are from early college or high school, I think, those ones.
And you also have some nature photography up here too.
This is just random stuff. Thing. Yeah. Wow. So that was at Alfred University, and that was from the roof of a building next to our apartment, and I loved that picture. That was just a lucky shot.
Wow. Some bighorn sheep. Very good. Yes, all your photography is, whatever you take a picture of is just awesome. Oh, here's your cover photo. I love this picture of New York too.
You met Cole Ippoliti. He had the gallery with us. So that is from his apartment.
Oh, he was telling me about it. His apartment. He's over. Oh, wow.
He has the most insane view there, and he gets amazing shots.
He said we can come down. He invited us. Hey, you want to come down? Take him up on.
If there's ever a rainbow or a cool storm or something, he's always out there getting it.
Oh, I don't blame him. Wow, these are beautiful pictures too. It's Eiffel Tower, Stonehenge. Okay. Well, these are. Oh, I love this picture. Wow.
Thank you.
Back on live view if I can. I don't know how to do that. So that was your photography, and that was very cool. Before we let you go, there is something I really do want to talk with you about, and this is something you know quite a bit about, and that's the space program. What's your take on it? Do you support manned or unmanned? Do you like one over the other?
Well, so I think that we need a combination of both. There is no substitute for having astronauts actually being there. I think that a crew can, in an hour, do what a space probe can do in a week, you know. Mm-hmm. But we can't send crews everywhere, and there are places that are way too far away. There are places that are way too dangerous. And when you send crew, It's so much more expensive, and you have to bring up so much more mass. So I'm a huge fan of having a robust planetary exploration program, but we need the human element, especially if we want to engage everybody. It's a lot more inspirational when we have humans in space than just having a robot in space.
Very good. I couldn't agree more. I think we should quadruple the NASA's budget.
Absolutely. We don't spend a lot on it in the grand scheme of things.
No, grand scheme, very little. What about Mars and the moon? What's your take on that?
So I think that we need to get people on Mars, but I don't think that we as a country and NASA as an organization is ready to do that. We haven't sent anyone out of Earth orbit since 1972. So even though we've done it, we haven't in a very long time, and the people who are there now have never done it before. So I think we need to go back to the surface of the moon and sort of gain that experience again and develop new skills and technologies before we go all the way to Mars. If we go to the moon, if anything goes wrong, it's 3 days home.
Mm-hmm.
If anything goes wrong on your way to Mars, you can't turn back. So I think that we definitely need to gain experience on the moon before we even try going to Mars.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I couldn't agree more as well. So the moon would be the major priority right now.
And I think that we need to get back there and stay there for a long duration.
What about a permanent base there? Yeah, I was just going to say a permanent base, sort of like the International Space Station of the moon.
I mean, if we want to live on Mars for 6 months to a year, we need to do that on the moon for even longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to learn how to do that in a really sustainable way. It's easier to stick a flag in a planet and say, okay, let's check that off the list. It's a lot harder to stay there and live there for months or years at a time.
That's unfortunately what we did with the moon back in the 70s. You know, we planted the flag and we did it. Yay. And we haven't been back since.
And then we just started exploring it. And only 6 flights in, we canceled the whole thing.
Yeah, it was absolute tragedy. It sure is. What about the future rockets as far as that we're developing? And I know we've got a lot of, SpaceX, we've got a lot of people involved in building rockets. Is that going well? Are we progressing towards getting to the moon?
It's getting very interesting. So right now there's SpaceX and ULA, and there's Northrop Grumman, which is starting to become a bigger player now. And so ULA has Atlas V and Delta IV, and SpaceX has the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, and Northrop Grumman has Antares, and soon they'll have Omega as well. And so that's basically all we have right now. Since the space shuttle, there's no NASA spacecraft. Blue Origin is developing New Glenn, which is going to be a big rocket. It hasn't been built yet and it hasn't flown yet, but they're far along in their development and they stay very quiet. But they're going to be launching out of the Cape in a couple of years. So there's a lot of commercial rockets that exist now, and there's a lot more in development that are coming soon. But NASA, since the space shuttle, has been working on the SLS, which is a big rocket made of space shuttle components. And it's come under a lot of scrutiny because it's extremely expensive, it's extremely over budget, it's way behind schedule, and doesn't have the capabilities that it originally set out to have. It's actually built now. The first SLS has been shipped, and it's supposed to launch. They're targeting late this year. Now with Corona and everything, I would guess it's going to launch next spring at least. And it's going to fly an unmanned Orion around the moon and come back. But after that, there's not supposed to be a manned flight for a while. And we have a moon program that's supposed to be a part of. But we don't have an upper stage that can carry what we need to carry. And we also don't have a lander right now. So the administration is trying to fast track a commercial lander, and it's looking like Boeing might be given a contract for that. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of companies that want to get involved in that. And it's going to be interesting to see what NASA does moving ahead, because they are on a fast track to get people on the moon by 2024.
Yeah, imagine that.
I personally don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's going to happen.
It would be better if the whole government would get involved on that aspect, I think.
And I think that our problem is that in our space program, it's run through the administration, and that changes every 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
So we build all this hardware and we develop all this stuff, and then every 4 to 8 years, a new president has a new bold idea, and we reroute everything we're doing, and we waste a lot of money and a lot of time. There's a push to try to do this with commercial rockets and commercial spacecraft. And by the time 2024 comes around, there's going to be a lot of commercial options for these types of missions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I see. Okay. Well, there's one other thing I just wanted to touch base with you on. You also do the show with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
StarTalk Radio.
StarTalk, yeah. So are you still involved with that?
Yep. We were supposed to have a show in March, and it got canceled because of everything. And a couple of our shows got pushed, but we are going to start having shows again soon. They are recording shows in the studio still, but we're going to have some live shows starting in August, I believe. And so we're sort of on break right now, but that's going to start up again soon.
That's pretty exciting. You get to meet all the bigwigs of astronomy and Bill Nye as well.
All sorts of people.
Yeah, all sorts of people. Very impressive.
We get space people, we get actors, comedians, and it's just a great opportunity.
That's great. Very well. Well, okay. Well, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it, and keep up the good work, and we'll see you later.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, well, that's all we have for you, folks, and we'll see you later.
Clear skies.
Clear skies.